Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my brand new series where I'll be looking at the past years of GTA Online and cover all the aspects in the light of the feedback page that went live a couple of weeks ago. In the first episode, we'll be focusing on balance. Balance in GTA Online has always been a point of discussion. From weapons to vehicles, it has arguably slowly but surely turned into a massively unbalanced mess. But through all this chaos that everyone seems to claim, is it really as bad as people make it out to be? And if so, what would be a lesson that Rockstar could learn from it? In GTA Online, you will basically see 8 weapons being used. The Special Carbine, the Combat MG, the AP pistol for when you're in the car, the RPGs, the Heavy Sniper, the minigun, sticky bombs, and the Assault Shotgun. Obviously, these include the M Mark II variants with explosive ammo where applied. I think it doesn't take a genius to figure out the pattern here. When GTA Online first launched, the balance was pretty clear. SMGs were useless, the carbine was there if you wanted accuracy, and if you wanted to have range and damage, you went with the advanced rifle. The advanced rifle was obviously also the better choice in terms of close quarters combat because of its fire rate and also its damage. It was all based on level and it all made sense. At rank 12 you got the micro SMG, rank 24 you got the AK, rank 42 you got the carbine rifle, rank 70 you got the advanced rifle. You got better weapons as you went on with the game. Now I don't want to get too much into progression right now because I feel that needs a separate video, but arguably the carbine and the advanced rifle came down to personal preference. Especially because the advanced rifle didn't have a grip, whereas the carbine rifle did. It might seem like nothing, but small things like this brought good balance to that specific class. The problem though that these two rifles brought, however, is that SMGs were basically useless because of it. I personally feel that SMGs never really had a place within GTA Online outside of using them in like forced and pickups deathmatches. They were always the last resort for full auto weapons. In my experience, the SMG always fired rubber bullets, and the later editions of the SMGs didn't make this any better. It's always been use a rifle when you're on foot and use an AP pistol when you're in a vehicle, which in my opinion is a shame. It never really gave players a reason to try out new ways to play. Obviously, as DLCs were added, more and more weapons were added as well. Unfortunately, only 2 of those weapons stick out: the Special Carbine and the Marksman Rifle. Especially the Marksman Rifle became a pretty big plague, but interestingly enough, it wasn't really the weapon itself that caused the issue. Sure, the fire rate was too high and it should have been brought down a bit, but the main issue with the weapon was a game mechanic and not the weapon itself. I'm of course talking about a tryhard favorite, first person. First person is arguably the worst thing that has happened to GTA Online in terms of combat. Aside from it not feeling smooth to use at all, it also resulted into the infamous sniper dancing. For those who don't know what it is, allow me to explain. Sniper dancing, in short, is abusing the first-person mechanic by going left and right quickly to dodge bullets and basically become impossible to be shot. This is especially an issue on PC and free-aim console lobbies. Combine this with the bulletproof helmets and you got yourself a recipe for disaster. Speaking of bulletproof helmets, let's talk about that for a second. Personally, I feel that in a game like GTA Online where headshots are a one-hit kill, bulletproof helmets have no place. It makes the game unbalanced and unfair. Sure, you can buy one for 10 grand, but personally I don't subscribe to the concept of using an item that gives you a handoff advantage over other players, especially when they prevent you from dying to someone who has a better aim or is a better player. What started as a single helmet evolved into a wide range of helmets, with some of them even have built-in heat seekers. I'm all for giving new players a chance to get used to the game in a slower pace against those who have been playing the game for a while, but this should be, in my opinion, be solved via matchmaking, not via items that allow you to survive 2 additional headshots, and obviously can also be abused by those higher ranked players as well. Now let's break the ice a little bit and talk about things that Rockstar has done right in terms of balance. There are indeed counters to basically everything in the game. Whether it's countering a bulletproof helmets with armor-piercing rounds, or using flares to get away from lock-on missiles, the game has plenty of counters for basically everything. Overall weapon balance in terms of regular assault rifles and stuff, in my opinion, is good, especially because nowadays you can purchase a special carbine at rank 1 and you're fine. Obviously this is a bit of a double-edged sword because it takes away the reason to rank up, but we'll touch on that on a later video. Different ammo types that became available with the gun running update did both good and bad. Luckily though, Rockstar recognized the issues such as the explosive sniper and the heavy revolver Mark II one-shotting and addressed that in patches. Although I do have to say that I always find it a shame that we weren't able to hold more special ammo, not including the explosive ammo of course. If we were to be able to hold more armor-piercing rounds, the issue with bulletproof helmets wouldn't be as much of an issue, because that ammo type basically resets helmet boys to being a one-shot kill again to the head. Unfortunately, you can only hold about 300 bullets, and the only way to restock them is by going back to your weapon workshop in free roam. In terms of weaponized vehicles, there's one that comes to mind that needs some serious rebalancing, which obviously is the Oppressor Mark II. It has very strong and rapidly firing missiles, and on top of that it also has flares available to it. This vehicle is arguably the most overpowered vehicle inside of GTA Online, and it would need some heavy nerfing in order to bring it in line with other vehicles in the game. Luckily for business owners in Los Santos, Rockstar did make it so you cannot be locked onto while selling your cargo in free roam and give your vehicles extra armor while doing so. However, I do personally feel that getting rid of the countermeasures on the Oppressor Mark II will be going a long way of making it more balanced. In terms of other vehicles, it seems that it's pretty decently balanced. Sure, it's a matter of fight fire with fire because most of the time you're completely powerless against the armored vehicles that are thrown at you. But if you're looking at them from a vehicle perspective, then I'd have to say that there's some decent enough balance in there. The Deluxo has very strong tracking, but only holds 20 rockets and can be taken down by one explosive sniper shot. And the majority of armored vehicles can be taken down with a maximum of 4 RPGs, and if you combine it with some sticky bombs as well while they're driving towards you, then you should be able to take them down pretty quickly and pretty easily. However, there's a lot of issues with these vehicles when it comes to player versus vehicle scenarios. Sure, you can use passive mode, but you will lose the ability to use your guns in other activities. So what you end up getting is you having to use your own armored vehicle, which then turns into more people using them, and then slowly but surely the entire lobby turns into a war zone again. The amount of armored vehicles in GTA Online has reached a point of no return. There are so many with so many different variations, the game doesn't allow regular players to enjoy the game they want. GTA has always been a game about freedom, but the freedom gets taken away when those griefers are attacking you on sight. Now, having said that, in my personal experience, I don't have much issues with griefers. Maybe I'm just lucky, but I know that the community themselves feel pretty strongly about them. Personally, I feel that a passive mode 2.0 should be in place. How will this work? Well, it will basically allow you to be excluded from being attacked while in free mode, but you'll still be able to use your guns. However, when an activity is active, such as a free mode event or a business sale, then you should be allowed to be attacked. Business sales, however, should have enough protection to not be blown up by these players, or in case of import and export, ruin the value of your cars. And like I said, Rockstar has already done this by preventing players from locking onto your business sale vehicles, which they deserve a pat on the shoulder for. Now let's look at the future. How would I like to see the balance inside of GTA 6 Online? Well, first and foremost, I'd want to dial back the amount of armored vehicles in the game. Currently, there's too many, and many of them simply don't add anything to GTA Online. I'd prefer it to be more unique vehicles, like the Strike Force for example. It has a unique feature where it flies faster when you're high in the air. It's a small thing, but it makes the jet feel unique. Unlike the wide variety of cars that have machine guns added to them for whatever reason. Ardent anyone? In terms of weapons, I would love to see more viable options and variety. Sure, there's always going to be another special carbine, but if you play Red Dead Online, you can't deny the fun you have with dual-wield shotguns. Satisfaction when using guns balance is important. The reason why Red Dead Redemption 2's weapons feel so satisfying to use is because you feel like you're actually firing the weapon. GTA Online's weapons don't really have that. The only weapon that comes to mind that it's fun and satisfying to use is the pump shotgun and the revolver, mainly because you feel they have a punch to them. But those are just some of my thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think. What do you think about the balance in GTA Online? What would you like to see in GTA 6 Online in terms of balance? Let me know in those comments down below. And do keep it in terms of balance for combat and not payouts. We'll touch on that in another video. But with that said, and with that done, that was it for this one. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you all later.